The idea of a memory palace is something I've played with for a few years and haven't gotten serious about until recently. Now that I have, it is fantastic. So it's one of those things you have to kind of work at before you get any results out of it. But if you do, it's awesome. If you're not familiar with the term, there's tons of videos and stuff. I encourage you to go just Google memory palace and you'll find all kinds of stuff. The idea is basically you take a location that you know well, like your house or a restaurant you visit often or a friend's house, or it could be a video game that you know really well or a movie, and walk through it in your mind. Just kind of walk in the front door, walk through and notice the major objects in there. Here's the sofa, here's the TV, here's a lamp. And just kind of walk through and always have the same list of objects as you go through. It's always good to write that down and map it out. And that becomes your memory palace. Then you can use that palace to link things to it. So again, go Google more about how that works. Where this video comes in is I didn't find a lot of great examples of, hey, here's just some memory palaces. Here's how I walk through it. Here's how I put it together. I wanted more examples of that. So now that I have a few, let's walk through some. So the first one is from Robert Cialdini's book, Influence. And part of the influence, a big piece of it, he talks about the 6 principles of persuasion: reciprocity, commitment, authority, social proof, scarcity, and liking. So I'm like, all right, that'd be a good list to memorize. So I'll put that in a memory palace. So what I did is we have a restaurant near us called the Crooked Tree Cafe that we go to more often than we probably should. It's a fantastic little place. And I've kind of mapped that out in my head. So again, I built the memory palace in my head. I've gone back for this presentation to find pictures. I haven't found great ones, but just to kind of show you what I was thinking in my head. So when you walk into Crooked Tree, it's kind of a long, maybe a 20-foot long hallway, real skinny hallway that leads to the hostess desk. So you get up to the hostess desk there. As they turn to seat you, as you walk around, you'll see the chalkboard. They always have the Cool Beans coffee listed, which I love. Cool Beans is a local coffee roaster. I'm glad to see the community working together. So Cool Beans is always there. And as you're walking back, you'll see the kitchen. You usually see the chef back there doing their thing. And then you'll get to your table. And we usually sit in the table near the back like this booth here, which is right near the restroom. And so that's kind of our list of what we have. And so if I'm going to build a memory palace from the 6 principles of persuasion, we can go back now and kind of map those out. So the first one was reciprocity. So as I'm walking in, you can't see the hallway here. I'm going to picture 2 guys in the hallway kind of blocking my view. I can't get past them there because they're shaking hands. They're really getting along. Reciprocity. As I get to the hostess station here, it's not just a hostess sitting there. It's actually this big football player. He's leaned over signing a paper and then puts on a Texas Longhorn ball cap, the big flat bill, all excited because he committed. He just did his commitment to Texas Longhorns. As I turn and get to that chalkboard, it has Cool Beans on it. They're not just suggesting Cool Beans. They're saying you will use Cool Beans. And actually, if you're familiar with South Park, I have Cartman up there. So you will respect my authority. Like you will drink Cool Beans coffee. Getting real mad about that. Then, as I turn and look in the kitchen, the chef's in there and say, hey, give us 5 stars. Don't forget to rate us on the way out. So social proof. And then we get to our table, and the table looks like this. It's empty. You know, there's a little paper in the picture here, but nothing on it. Scarcity. It's very scarce. There's nothing on it. And then as I realize, I sit down and realize I have to pee, and I'm thankful the bathroom was right there, which I really like that. So that's liking. So going back through then, I have this palace here where I go through. There's the reciprocity in the hallway, the guys shaking hands. I get to the host station's commitment because we have the guy signing his football papers. I turn and look at the chalkboard, and it's authority. We have authority. Kitchen, he's yelling out about ranking them, so that's social proof. Get to our table, there's nothing on it, that's scarcity. And then I see the bathroom in the back, and that's liking. And so after running through that a few times, again, probably harder in this video than I have it because I know the restaurant so well, but I can picture myself walking through and like, yep, there it is. Reciprocity, commitment, authority, social proof, scarcity, liking. That's the 6 principles of persuasion that I tried to learn just by brute force for a while, and it wasn't going well. And this just makes it that much easier. Now, again, I know it pretty well now. I still have to review it periodically. I mean, it's going to fade a little bit, but so much easier than just trying to brute force one through. So I'll give you one more example. I thought it might be interesting just to memorize the 10 commandments in order. So, okay, let me find a memory palace I have for that. In the Cobb Chamber of Commerce that I go to at least once a month for different meetings, I know that place pretty well. So we'll map the 10 commandments on there. So the first commandment is you shall have no other gods before me. Now we see the bank of elevators. So I picture all the elevators having a different god, a different god on every elevator, but you should have no other gods before me. So you pick the god to have it be there. Okay, cool. And then we get to the front desk and we get off. There's a big golden idol on it, just this big golden statue. You shall not make any idols. So I like that one. And as I walk to the right, kind of where that guy is on the right, there's a small conference room. I picture a bunch of guys in there just cussing each other out, just not having a good time. But you should not take the name of your Lord in vain. They're taking the name of the Lord in vain doing that. There's another big conference room just past that. So there's a small conference room on the left. There's a big one in front of us, but it's closed. It's got a big closed sign because closed on Sunday, it says. So remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. And then as we get to the main conference room I'm in, I don't have a good picture for it, but outside of that's kind of a little foyer area, and my parents are sitting there just to meet me there as I'm coming in. So cool. My parents are sitting there, so honor your father and mother. And then as I come into the main conference room I'm in, You can't see everything, but in the back right there on the wall is a little plate where you can control the screen right by the door. So I walk in there, and I go to turn the screen, and the screen has knives sticking out. It tries to stab me. So the place trying to kill me, so you shall not murder. Then I turn to look at the TV as I'm walking in, and it's got some obscene stuff on it. It's not looking good. Lots of porn and just bad stuff on the screen, but you shall not commit adultery. And then I kind of walk around to the far side of the table on the left there and look out the windows over Atlanta. I witness a carjacking. That's never good. I see a guy running away, a guy with a gun. It's just chaos down there. You shall not steal. Then I sit down at the table with all my friends and neighbors and stuff, and I'm with my neighbors there. So you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. And then from the left side of the table, I'm looking back out through the window there. I see a delicious chocolate cake, but I'm trying not to have chocolate right now and have sugar, so it's not good. And I'm really coveting. I really wish I had that cake, so I shall not covet. So that's the 10 commandments right there in order. So going back through, we have the elevators with all the gods. You shall have no other gods before me. And then the big golden idol on the desk. You shall not make idols. See that small conference room where everyone is screaming and cussing, and you shall not take the name of your Lord in vain. And then the next conference room in the middle there is closed. Got the closed sign on it, closed on Sunday. So remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. And as I'm walking up to the main conference room, that little lobby area, I see my mom and dad sitting there to honor your father and mother. And then I get into our conference room, and I see the TV controls on the right. And as I go to touch the screen, a knife shoots out and tries to kill me. So you shall not murder. The TV has all the filth going on it. You shall not commit adultery. I walk around further to the table, look outside, and I see that carjacking going on. You shall not steal. Then I finally sit down at the table with all my neighbors and conversation happening there. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. And then I look out from my seat through that window, see that chocolate cake. Oh, it looks so good, but I really want it. I should not have the sugar, so I'm coveting it, which you shall not covet. So again, knowing this space better than probably any of you watching do helps. I mean, the key to this is having a space you know really well. I can close my eyes and just kind of walk through the Chamber of Commerce as I get in and walk back to the conference room I always go to. I always touch the screen, look at the TV, go around the far side of the table. It's the route I always take. And so mapping these things against it has made it very easy to remember the 10 Commandments. So I've done this with a number of things. I'm going to plan to do it with many more, but if there's a small list of things you want to remember, I think a memory palace can be fantastic. So if you have other thoughts or tips or great videos you've seen, leave a comment and let us know. Thanks.